to have the live with a little fan on. So I'm not sure the volume I need to be talking about. So we're just going to go with this. Now, Leticia has done some dumbass shit. And I'm going to explain why after everyone else gets in here. And oh shit, I forgot to grab the other phone, so I guess I'll just have to do YouTube off the tablet. Okay, there we go. Get the volume down because, reasons. Reasons and all. And this thing is so. This is why I stopped using the tablet. I mean, I hit onto my live and okay. Finally, it's starting to do its thing. Hello, Smelly. Hello, Let It Go. Hello, Leah. But yes, I'm going to tell you exactly what you saw. Well, once again, I'm going to wait till more people get in here. But for the people that already got here, it's been theater. That is basically what you've seen. What you have basically seen, putting it in shortest words, is a teenage girl having her fit, trying to get her boyfriend to do what she wants, which has been the entire theme since she met the moron. Now, while everyone else is getting in here, I want to call out stupid when I see it. Now, I gave the guy a little more credit. After engaging Leticia, you would learn to act and be more responsible. But the dumb I forgot, I'm not at 18. The dumb individual showed up in Al's chat. I mean, legally, you want to distance yourself from it all, and you don't want to involve yourself in a circus or a fiasco when you're going into court. So, I do have to say that Jason Wallace is a moron. First, he was slept with Leticia after listening to that for a while. And two, because there's a no contact order, it's not contact, but showing up in Al's chat and getting involved in internet drama for people high-fiving you was fucking dumb. Just saying. Ace. Why am I? Now, Ace, let me see. One thing you'll learn about me over time is I don't like dumb questions. I mean, it's pretty stupid one, Ace. I mean, it's give the people what they want. If the people want me to talk about Chris Chan, I will talk about Chris Chan tomorrow. If people want me to talk about frickin' Biden and are willing to pay me for that one, I would talk about Biden. If people want to talk about caramel fucking corn, if you'll pay me, I'll talk about caramel corn. Now, other than that, it's got to be of something that seems to be interest of the community. It's like for me to do Amber coverage again, people would have to pay me up front. Just saying. So, that's, see, a lot of people in the Boyd are like that. And because of terms of service, I only covered just rich life for so long because I was in a serious relationship. Terms of service, I got to cover 9 or 10 people. And people want to talk about the train wreck that attempted to commit suicide. And the next person that is stupid asks me one stupid question. If I like you or not, I'm going to ding you. Just saying. Hello, monkey boy. That's one of my things. It's like my former associate's like, I like you and all, but it doesn't mean I might not have to, Leticia you. I had to get you into my old life half a lifetime ago. I had to say that to my friends a lot. I like you, but it doesn't mean I wouldn't do Leticia-like things to you. Of course, we're changing a few different words. Because I'm a person of lines, and certain creators, like Rich Life of Times, were going over lines. And Leticia, I mean, she's all over the crayons. Now, see, this is giving me a good segue while everyone's coming in. See, the thing about YouTube, when you're doing your own channel, when when life gives you a lemon, make lemonade. And I was needing something to talk about while everyone gets in here before I start, doing the main timeline stuff. Well, no problem, Monkey Boy. I try to do the right things. Now, Monkey Boy, once again, we're going to digress. Tasha gave him a wrench. He's, in the last 2 weeks, he's had to be nice to me in Tasha's chat. Now, he still can't tell the truth, but, once again, because I am a civilized human being, I've been forced to engage with Rich Life, and it's been pleasant exchanges, nothing to really remark of or poo-poo, other than he's factually challenged as always, and I thought that, I told Miss Let It Go that I thought he was a little deterred about the female of the species. Nope, my last encounter, I was completely in error on that point. He's no different. He'll just be civil to you when he has to. And that's your Rich Life update. So, once again, it's not worth me making a video on Rich Life. But, if I was to actually have done a 2-minute Rich Life update video, that would have been it. But, we're both mods in Tasha's chat, and we're both there for Tasha. We're not there to talk to each other. We're not there to poo-poo each other. We're both there to support the same person because Tasha is one of the last people in the universe that will talk nice to Rich Life. Spring water. But yes, Miss Let It Go, you were right. When I had talked to him before, it was just, he was having a bad moment about Lisa, and now he's over Lisa, and he'd probably hook up with Leticia if he was in orbit of her. Just saying. Well, that sucks, because I can't unblock you, only Tasha can. Now, Tasha did go through recently and unblock some people. So you may be unblocked. Because, I guess it was 3 weeks ago, Tasha said I had about 1,000 people blocked, and she went through and unblocked. So if it happened before that, you're unblocked. But, Leticia thinks we're all watching her. Leticia thinks Jason Wallace is watching everything that she does. Now, I've started the presentation, by the way. Now, it's been kind of odd, but Leticia watches everything on this channel. Even my vlogs. And I kind of thought, well, it's a little creepy, but, I'm guessing that's the way she gets to experience her life. Now, one thing that she has done is she adopted 2 parts of my story. Or I should say my personal life story. You put me on something like Xanax. I mean, I am evil incarnate. And I mentioned that when I talked in the lives about her freezing the puppies. That, and now all of a sudden after that, then she started saying she was on Xanax, and that's why she froze the puppies. And that was an aspect of my story that she has adopted. Now, I have seizures, and I smoke marijuana medically to control those seizures because when my seizures started in for years, I had them multiple times every day. Now, this has been several years ago that I saw the doctors. Now, I have been told years ago that I need evaluated every now and then. So, this spring, you notice the lack of my content? I took 4 months and I worked as much as I could. For the first 2 months, I could probably put in a good hard 20 to 30 hour work week of work. And then for the next 2 months, my condition started to degenerate and I started having seizures again. And I worked through that 2 months, and it just kept getting worse. So I know what to tell the doctor when I go back about my seizures, or at least about working. Now, the thing about my marijuana, I am working on going cold turkey because for my reevaluation, I have to be able to tell the doctor what life is like right now with no pot. So this is what I'm going to be doing I've already cut down severely. In the last 2 months, I've cut my usage down by 50%. And so then I'm going to go back to the doctor. I'm going to go back to the neurologist. We're going to put all this information in, and then I'm going to get their professional opinions back, and then I'm going to chart my health courses from there. Hello, Jin Jin. And, that's personally a part of my life. But, now all of a sudden she started saying she has seizures. So these are two aspects of my story she is now adopting. And I know from listening to my other vlogs and listening to her speaky, she watches everything. Now, knowing this, and knowing and now you'll see the method in the madness on why I talked about this. Those two aspects of my life, I think that she's taking aspects of other people's stories and telling us all this shit. Personal opinion. This is what the evidence is reasonably leading me to believe. That a lot of her, quote, stories are stories she has heard from other people or other YouTubers, and she's adopting as her own. Now, she is adopting these two little things of mine out. So if she's adopting two things from me, how much is she adopting from other people? Well, now, Monkey Boy, offhand, we've not got to talk privately, but if we were in like a bar situation, I know how to pick most locks. Because before I became a caregiver, I had a plan. I had a Class A CDL. I was going to get a dump truck and a loader. And I was going to haul rock for people. And I was going to do a locksmith job like you. Because, you're on call. And that's what I was going to do for a living before, my seizure. Well, before caregivers and before seizures. I was going to take my Class A CDL and I was going to haul rock for people. And I also, because I've got the lockpicks in here. My lockpicks are in Verily Veronica's bag. And I've got a lockpick gun here. And I can pick locks D, C minus D, level. You could set me right, but put it this way, I would be a good student for you. But, as Monkey Boy said, you can make your job. And that's what I was going to do. And Leticia, she's never going to work. And that once again, I'm using chat segue to get to points. Her point this entire time was, I need me a man. You remember the old Foghorn Leghorn? And I think her name was Bessie. The female chicken that always wanted a man. And she was always after him. And occasionally he'd try to, get her going out with Rich Life. I mean the dog. And that is her. She wants to be the female. She wants to be taken care of. She wants to do nothing. Like Rich Life wants a woman as a slave. She wants a man as a slave. Well, here, Monkey Boy, no one wants to work. So that's the fortunate thing here. If a person will want to work and find a niche, they can make money. And Leticia, she has a niche, lot lizarding. Now, the problem is lot lizards need to be on the pill. And Leticia is, as we know, her belief is God is her contraceptive. And she's 34 going on 35. You know, she's only got several years of breeding left. And she has to hook her a man. And once again, she thinks that Jason Wallace watches everything just like she watches everything. You know, when she's not making a video, she's watching all of us. I mean, it's kind of interesting in a way because you hope that she might learn something, but she's only going to accept things like Dr. Carroll that feed into her delusion. Well, yeah, Monkey Boy, I mean, Shannon runs her mouth, but you know, I like to work. I like to work out here. You know, part of YouTube is, you know, it's an extra little job to do. You know, it's like when I used to go to the factory, people would, you know, complain. I'm like, I got away from home. I don't have to talk to those people anymore. Work is much better. And it was. I mean, work was a lot calmer environment. You could get hurt or killed at work. But, you know, my last job, you could only get mildly maimed. Though, my mother didn't. But, you know, we'll talk about that in a vlog thing one day. But, once again, that suicide attempt was for Jason Wallace. Because she's got it in her head that Jason Wallace can come in and will save her. And him showing up in Al's chat today, I mean, stupid man award. I mean, see, once again, that's going to feed into her delusions. Because when he came into chat, I didn't want it to be him. I knew it was best for everyone for it not to be him. And then Al went and confirmed that it was him. You know, Al is an angel, but that was a mistake on both their parts. You know, I like my friends and all, but when my friends do a boo-boo, I will point it out. Usually I do it in private, but I really wanted to tell Jason Wallace, you are fucking stupid, dude! I almost went into the army and they were offering me an MP job. Now, in the guard unit I would have been stuck in Haiti during the 90s and I would have hated it. Just saying. So I'm glad I didn't. So, and I also, some of my best friends were machinists. And I could probably do the better half of your job because Paul, for 2 fucking decades, wouldn't shut up about everything he did at work, but that would be on a private vlog. So, you know, I can understand your life. Now, mine, I got pussy early. You know, I was a daddy at 16. My daughter turned 38 years old last week. Her birthday was the 19th. You know, when I grew up was before AIDS. And there was these things called hippie chicks. You know, that's where it's like everyone always about after younger girls. I'm like, hell no, when I was a young dude, I mean, the hippie chicks were in their late 20s and 30s. I mean, that was a never-ending source of tail. Hello, Flatline. Well, yes, Flatline. You know, you are getting to the moral of this story. Don't just sleep around to sleep around. You know, the only dalliance I've had is with a girl I have known and been friends with for several years. And it's just a occasional get high and she's not attached to anyone and I'm not attached to anyone thing. You know, as soon as she gets a girl or a whatever friend, I was about to say a boyfriend, but then I thought, well, no, I forgot with her. She'd be good with either. So as soon as she gets an other, you know, that ends and we don't get her, you know, for a while we were getting together every other weekend, but, you know, we ain't got together this month. You know, it's no big deal. Well, Monkey Boy, my mentor and his entire crowd when I was growing up were all Vietnam veterans. So, you know, I learned about it's best to work for yourself than to work for Uncle Sam. I also, just between me and you, I also wanted to always be able to shoot the person giving me orders. Just saying. If someone was to give me the stupidest order in the universe, I want to reserve the right to not do that. Let's just put it that way. Yes, that would be the best YouTube way to put that. Because there were some awful stupid orders that got a lot of good people killed. And knowing that going in, I was going to Navy it. Never again volunteer yourself. Now, as you know, Monkey Boy, in the military, the government don't see everything. And you would be surprised at what you and the government can get away with. Because there's been times that I was doing criminal activity that in hindsight in the last few years, it's like, I know why this was so easy now. But once again, we'll talk about some of that when we do a vlog. Because, the government's not always doing the nice thing, but the government's doing what brings the government money and power. And this is why I digress on this, because they get no money or power watching Leticia. But once again, Leticia has these delusions that we're all seeing her. So in her deluded mind, Jason Wallace has this magical power. She is so narcissistic, she thinks that creation is around her, and like the Truman Show, we are all watching her. And I never watched that movie because I thought the premise was stupid. I just understand the concept of it. Hello, Dina. Now, the problem is Astrid was her doctor. Now, in this meltdown, her doctor's delusions and support, I saw that all over that. Going back, if we were to sit down and painstakingly go through this to the point I wanted to bash my head in, I could show you how his delusions and how he fed this entire event. And I have a feeling that Dr. Carol has been doing this for a long time. Now, she claims to have met him at the YMCA. And Miss Let It Go, hello, Ellen. Now, remember when I said I hoped he was a Christian counselor? I saw the accreditation. He is a psychologist. He is not a Christian counselor. Because you Let It Go and I had some DMs in the DM thingy. And, we had talked about that. And that was one of my theories I put to her. He seems more like a Christian counselor to me. But no, since then, I have saw the receipts. And he is no form of a Christian counselor. He is a therapist. And I started to do a video. It's just I decided I couldn't do that video nice. So I decided, once again, as a creator, I feel that my integrity is the videos I don't make. And this was one of these rare things. Because I wanted to come on YouTube and tell you this effing blah, blah, blah that did XXX, that I believe under, he was giving Christian counselor advice, is actually a licensed therapist and is not related in any way to Christianity or God. And that is the video that I didn't do that I wanted to. Yes, Ellen, the therapist is the old man. And yes, oh hell, he is under investigation. Since you say the F people, yes, made sure that happened. And I have been adopted into their tribe, and the authorities are watching this channel. They're watching Al. Now, I'm sure they won't go into this live, but, I get things concise and to the point and quick in videos, so they use that. where the authorities are not going to be watching this live, but my typical Leticia vid, eventually they will. Especially the ones that kind of give the information part. And you'll notice that some videos that I'll bullet point it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with information. And that's why I do that. Because I do know that they're watching, and the pieces of content that I think will be useful to them, like I said, I bullet point it. I start off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That way they can get in, they can get out, they can get their base information, and they can move on, because I've made sure that I've not been exaggerating anything, and I've given them just the facts, ma'am, because I am trained to give a report. Oh yeah, Monkey Boy, I definitely agree with that. Well, when she started her live with the doctor, I knew then. Once again, I didn't put it in video. I'm like, this isn't going to survive HIPAA. And it didn't. And I knew that was going to be gone. And that's why I did my vid. I did a vid. I took an excerpt of it to prove my point that Dr. Carroll is feeding the delusions. Because once again, the cops are going to see that point. And they're going to hear their audio, and they're going to hear me walking through them through that and what they're actually hearing. And I have no doubt that the people that be have seen that video. And at some point, I've been expecting a privacy complaint on it. And if I get a complaint on it, I'm going to have to private it. But so far, the therapist place has not caught it. And the law don't care. The police there, they're going to be more than happy with my video. They'll want it there, happy as a clam. Now, once again, the people that employ Dr. Carroll, they can take that video down just like that. Well, oh hell, I dealt with it with Mindsight. Because, you see, I actually did content involving my therapy before HIPAA law. And then when HIPAA came into effect, I did have to private some of my early videos with the lovely Haley. Yep. Now, well, yes, Astrid, he's insane. He's lost his mind. I mean, once again, he's only thinking about God. What I saw told me I'm looking at a Christian counselor. And what I had been saying behind the scenes is I believe that she's claiming he's a therapist when he's a Christian counselor. And since then, I have found the accreditation, and no. He's got no form of Christian counseling background. He's got no paper on that. He is an accredited psychologist that is supposed to be diagnosing her, with giving her a psychological diagnosis, helping her work through her issues, and on to a better life. And we got Noah's Ark. I mean, if that old guy told her to build an ark, she'd be out there crying on YouTube, saying, we must build the ark. We must get 2 of everything. And only eat vegan. Well, I mean, it just absolutely amazes me. Well, hell alive, because I know the police are watching. They watch Al, they watch me, they watch Adonis, and they watch Selah. And Selah also confirmed it. So, that's why. Because I have information and other corroborating information. Now, they may be watching a few others. I just mentioned the ones that I actually know about. Because you see, also when Leticia talked to the detective, you could see that the detective had seen certain levels of content. Okay, Tragic, I'll get to that in a moment. Hello, Jennifer. So that's the other reason why I was able to figure out which creators I knew they're watching. And like I said, they could be watching more. Now they're not watching everything we do. Like I say, this live, they're not going to watch. They're going to watch short, topical, to the point stuff. And especially like me and Selah, we're short, topical, to the point stuff. We're basically receipts. Now, on the other hand, Owl and both Adonis, they're visual receipts. And Adonis's crowd, the F people, they're heavily been calling about Leticia for a long, long time before most of you knew that a Leticia existed. Well, actually, Flatline, there is. She needs to be committed and she needs to be broke of her delusions. Because I can see through various things that her delusions, for the most part, are manipulations. But she truly does have schizophrenia. And on my other channel, one of my closest friends, he's not doing content anymore, his channel was called The YouTube Schizophrenic. And we just called him Schizo. And he was on medication that worked for him. And I learned a lot about schizophrenia from him. And there was another creator named Brandon in Chains, also a schizophrenic. And he is now dead. He passed on about a year ago. He became a friend of this channel, and many of my main channel had subscribed to him, and he had a bad drug interaction, and it stopped his heart. And then I also know Cruiser McHenry, who is a friend and an acquaintance of this channel, and he is also a schizophrenic. And this is why I'm going to tell you right now, where she thinks that we're watching her, that's the schizophrenia. She really does believe some delusions, the ones that stem from her schizophrenia. The rest of it she just uses as a lie to enable herself. And you can usually tell because she's always got that look on her face, or a smile in the corner, or a smug look of like, huh, you can't do nothing about that now. But you know, that is the basis of Leticia. Now, once again, she also definitely seems to have borderline personality disorder. And I'm not going to go any further on saying what my opinions on her diagnosis is. Though bipolar and an explosive personality disorder could be on that list. Or that could be theatrics. Just saying. So, you know, this is kind of bringing my understanding of her to you. You know, once again, with her schizophrenia, you know, she's thinking that Jason Wallace is watching everything. And him showing up in Owl today is going to convince her of that delusion. Now, once again, that's not the way I wanted my universe to go. But, you know, as a creator, it does create more of a shitstorm, so that will create more interest, more evidence. Because that was really a mistake of Jason Wallace. Now, I'm going to look up a chat for a minute and see if there's anything important I missed. Well, the thing is on medication, she might be a different person. You know, as I mentioned, you know, I can say I've had schizophrenic YouTuber friends. More than about everyone else. So, I don't know what that says about me, but we're just going to go with it. Making fun of myself, by the way. not schizophrenic people. Hello, Coach Isms. How are you today? I was trying to stop by last night, but Leticia decided to totally disintegrate. Now, I've noticed that, Coach, that she likes to disintegrate when your program's on. I'm just wondering if she wants a wrestler. Because, like I said, and if you want something unusual, Coach Isms does a animated wrestling program. And he does most Boyd figures and some others. So, my guess is Leticia wants a wrestler. But, as I said, I was going to stop by your program last night, but Leticia decided to get super crazy and keep going super crazy. So, I've been having to do my YouTube creator gig. Well, Flatline, now, once again, thank you for the segue. According to Al, her brother is filing charges. Now, the police don't want her. The jail really don't want her. They want her in the happy farm. Oh, man. Well, Astrid, that's all going to depend on the laws in her state. Now, we're going to get into that attempt. Because there's many people that don't understand sleight of hand. She took about a dozen pills. She's fine. Now, what she did, somebody else counted them and they said 14. And I will go with that number in reality. Because, my quick look, was 12. Because she just did this and I wasn't going to stop it and count it. I'm like, it looks to be 12. But someone that stopped said it was 14. And also her second, she acted like she took and may have took one or two, and she kept her hand like this, which tells me that that hand was still full of pills. She only took 12 or 14. That is why they didn't pump her stomach. It's no threat to her. It's no threat to the baby. And if they had pumped her stomach, I would have mentioned that if there are some sort of fetus protection law that she might be in violation of, but that would depend on Arkansas state law. Now, once again, because she had intent, that still could run her afoul of Arkansas state law. It all depends. Well, Kimberly, she's not going nowhere. Her bail revocation, it looks to be 7:30 in the evening. And court will be about 9 in the morning. Yeah. And they don't need her for the bail revocation hearing. See, I didn't put this in a video because just like now and then I wouldn't tell things that would help Rich Life. There's certain times I won't tell things that will help Leticia. And they don't need her for the hearing. They revoke bail without the defendant there all the time. So that hearing will go on with or without her. And she will be in the hospital, which is where Roger wanted her. And that all works out, which, once again, no one freaks out when everything's going according to plan. Remember that. And once again, she's in the hospital. The hearing's tomorrow. No reason for me to freak out because the way it's going from my seat, everything for me is going as planned. Now, yes, Astrid, I would agree with the avoidant too. To put that out there, because in reality, she, when I first saw her and was explaining her to someone, I'm like, she's like, what don't you have? I told her I've not been able to look at her professionally, but with Leticia, it's like, it would be easier to say, what don't you have than what you have. Now, Tragic Mouse, you are in agreement. Now, once again, this is now once again we're gonna have to bring reality in. And up till now, things are okay. She faked her high school drama suicide attempt, which, she was going to go back to mom's or she was going to create a scene. And she wasn't even going to work her way back to her car. Well, Flatline, this is what this also was about. She was playing for Jason Wallace and the judge. But also, one of her delusions is that Jason Wallace can stop that just by saying, stop. And Miss Flatline, you of all ladies know that the white knights don't exist. You might get a gray knight, but you're never going to get a white knight. And she has this fantasy that Jason Wallace is going to put all up in his hand and go, halt, judge, your honor. He's going to break into court tomorrow, pull open his chest, have his slung down to his knees and go, he's basically got the Fabio outfit on. Your honor, this travesty must not continue. And this is Leticia's fantasy mind. I mean, this is actually what her delusion wanted to make occur. And of course, I'm doing it in a theatrical manner to make this dumbass shit entertaining. But and hell, you're right. I mean, was going to be my next point. Since the beginning, the state took up the charges. There's nothing Jason Wallace could do. And then the dumb ass goes into Al's chat. And if she's got a phone, she's already seen it. Now, going back to my topic, now that I wanted to pull my brain out of my eyes. Now, where she was when we saw her was observation. Because she took the pills, they have to be sure, so she's under observation. And after observation, she will go to the mental level. And they will put her on a different floor. And on that floor, they will take her phone again. Remember, she didn't get her phone back until she was checking out? So once they have taken her off observation, the phone goes. Now, I guarantee Al will find out tomorrow what happens in court. So we don't need Leticia for this. And, I'll be looking for Al's post because I guarantee she will get first find outs. Well, with their long uploads, in reality, if she's not uploaded by now or 8 o'clock this evening, I would say, if she don't upload in about the next hour, then they've already got the phone. But that hospital Wi-Fi, she's going to have to split the signal, so the uploads are going to be extremely slow. Well, the thing for her is, her brother now has put false charges against her for another false. Now, this is a compounding situation because she's going to jail for filing 2 false reports. And now she's filed another false report against her brother. You see, that's another way that I know that they're watching Adonis and Al, other than I've been told they're watching Adonis and Al, is because, that all that stuff they did with I'm trying to think of a nice way to put it, but I ain't finding it. The family brawl, we'll put it that way, in exaggeration, because as we know, he did not hit her. And she threw herself backward and claimed to be pushed. It's just like her box of razor blades. That was another box of pills. It wasn't razor blades. I did stop that one. where, like I said, I didn't stop to count the pills, but I did stop that one to make sure. She didn't have any razor blades, but the dispatcher will have been told that she had razor blades. Hello, Callie. Well, let it go. That is what happened. Well, her mother says lost her balance. I've seen women do this. You know, I grew up in a city. I've seen spiteful, psychotic women. I have seen women literally do the nesty plunge and then scream after busting their head on the pavement that you pushed me, and the guy never raised his arms. Now, once, everyone was starting a stir, and it became a brawl, and the next time I walked over and I said, "You stupid bitch, he didn't touch you, and you just did the nesty plunge into the pavement into your head, and you deserved it." Now, I asked her, "Then, do you want to do it again? Because if so, I'm going to laugh harder, and because I'm going to laugh pretty fucking hard." And then I walked away, and I went to my car, which was on the other side of the lot, and got in and packed my bowl, and I just put my hands in my face and bah-ha-ha'd. But, that's the kind of thing that she was trying to do. And once again, that one drama queen down there on the river that day was going above and beyond, and I guess she was doing it with such force, and trying to do that, she hit it with such, her head went bubble, with the old recoil. And she knocked the shit out of herself. I mean, she seriously injured herself. I mean, she didn't say a word between me standing over her mocking, and I wasn't the only one that saw her do the nesty plunge and no one touched her. Hello, Rachel. Well, Cass, me too. I mean, I make off-color jokes about, Leticia about believe all men. Of course, I don't really believe that, but, when you listen to Leticia's story for a while, you kind of get, I want extraordinary evidence. Just saying. But I mean, now when we know that Leticia is dumb, but she's mentally ill. Now, Jason Wallace, on the other hand, he's dumb. I mean, he's not doing stupid because of mental illness, because he likes women's attention. And Al is a wonderful person, and I'm sure that he can have wonderful conversations with her behind the scenes. But he should have not come in chat, and she should not have confirmed his identity, because that shows that he wishes to take part in this circus. And that's a bad look. I mean, if I go to court with a YouTuber, I'm going to talk about every YouTuber but. I'm going to talk about milk chocolate before I talk about that YouTuber. I'm going to talk about an ingrown hair, if I was to have an ingrown hair, before I would talk about them. Matter of fact, I would talk about every subject in existence before. Just saying. Well, let it go. I was trying to poo-poo it, and then Al decided to validate it, and then it went, okay, we all can't do the smart thing. But you see, people don't always see the bigger picture. Al wanted to validate it. It was all from good thought. And in reality, on both sides, it will all pretty much stem from a thought. Now, once again, it seems that Jason Wallace likes attention. Well, you know what? I like attention from girls too. But I understand to put it in context. It's like, Miss Flatline in chat, we are friends. We are brother and sister like. I say, you look lovely today. I don't tell her, you look hot. You look sexy. Or anything like that. I treat her as a sister type. Because we are friends, I respect her as an equal. So when I compliment her, I treat her as a human being. Once again, I say the word lovely. When I normally might really want to say, you look very beautiful today. But once again, that can be taken as a little forward. So to my sisterly friend, I say, you look lovely today. And then if Lisa Lynn's around, I'll talk like a dog because that's her language. Remember where we talked before, like humans are animals in their own way, but they each have their own nature? Lisa Lynn's is, to talk like animals and scrogging and drinking. So, you have to speak her language. So, if Lisa Lynn comes here, you would see her saying, like, you want to bang me, and I would allude something that perhaps I do, or something suggestive or flippant, because once again, that's this individual's language, even though we're nothing more than sort of acquaintance friends. But people many times can't keep these boundaries. And you have to understand what certain boundaries are in relationships. Boundaries in relationships can expand or contract. But Jason Wallace really did something dumb today. I mean, seriously. But, hey, in the end, it will give me a video when this is all over. The sins of Jason Wallace. When this gets further down the line, and the baby craps out, and we're bouncing it in the hand. I will do a vid going over the positive and the negative aspects of the sins of Jason Wallace. And I will do it fairly, and I will do it objectively. And you pretty much know the most of it here. Now, once he's done something stupid, that shows me that he's not done doing something stupid. Because when people tend to keep doing stupid, well, they keep doing stupid. And I guess that's kind of why I have a channel. Because people keep doing stupid things. I mean, seriously. Now, just a minute. I have to take 1 second and gather myself, because I'm about to do a big laugh. And if I do this big laugh, I'm just going to be completely useless to everyone for about 20 minutes. So I have to get it together. Breathe. Okay, I think I've got myself together, and I can now keep myself together to do this. Hello, Stacy. Well, this will be posted. I'll take it off private when it's done, because we're not going to go too far. I just wanted to get a lot of things down, because around 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, there will be other people go live. So, and people will want to catch bathrooms. So I'm going to do about 20 more minutes here. I'm going to get off about 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and that'll let people go do their thingies before the people come on with their prime time lives. See, I also do kind of think about this kind of stuff when I do YouTube too, because I think about you. Because this channel is about you and your interests. What some people don't understand is you guys program the channel. For the new people, hello, Main Girl. You will find out that at certain times on my community tab, I will put up polls. And I will tell you people, or you will tell me, people that you think are interesting. And then I will research, and then I will see, do I think is this interesting enough to bring to its content for everyone? So this channel, in reality, is viewer programmed. In reality. I'm trying to think, is there anyone that I do just because of me? No. Now, Rich Life, because of my ex-girlfriend. My ex-girlfriend hated Rich Life. But, we won't go into that here. That will be another story. But, the thing is she's going to get another charge. Now, just a minute, I have to do some thinkering. Okay, we have hit a I don't know area. Because this is going to come down to Arkansas state law. She has 2 charges for a one type offense. She's about to go to court for those. If she gets probation, would her brother's charge be a probation violation, or would that not count as a probation violation because it happened before the conviction? I don't know. This is outside, I'm pretty knowledgeable about the law, but this is something that is outside of what I can say. I don't know. Because once again, she's going to have a 3rd charge for the same damn thing. False reporting to the police. 2 are going to trial. The bail revocation is Monday. Now, this charge could be folded into that. I do know that they can add additional charges before, it all starts. So, Angel's charge could end up wrapped into these other 2. That is a possibility. But once again, I'm not sure how this is going to dance out, because this is going to dance to the tune of Arkansas state law. So, I have no idea. All I know is she's got herself in big trouble. And if Jason Wallace, is the father, doubtful. I mean, for me saying less 5% chance, in my guesstimation, about a 5% reality chance that he could be the father. Though, personally, if we're just talking and bullshitting, I'm going to say 0. But, if we're going to go to math, I'm going to say 5%. 1 in 20. But, if we're drinking, I'm going to say 0. Just saying. Now, once again, the unfortunate thing is, by going in a YouTube chat and validating it was him, he has now thrown himself into this realm. And I don't think he understands that he now went through the magical porthole, and he now has involved himself into YouTube other than just being a receipt. And he liked the attention he got in the chat today. And that shows me an aspect of Jason's personality, that he likes attention from girls. Well, I like attention from girls, but I know when to not get attention from girls. So, I'm just making this an extra point because he has now entered the circus arena. He went from the realm of I am Jason the receipt to I am Jason the YouTube participant. And why he wanted to do that, I mean, wow. The only reason why I have my name and not a mask or an avatar, because it saves the problem of me getting doxxed. I basically disarmed someone beforehand. Well, yes, Stacy. Robert, he was in Original Al's chat. And I told everyone that it was not him. And the reason why I said that is because it was best for everyone that it not be him. But evidently that was not gotten through to the populace. And once again, Al thought she was being helpful in validating his identity. But once the valid identity was done, it's like, okay, this is another piece on the field. Thank you, or maybe perhaps Miss Al. She is an angel, by the way. Now, once again, going back into my early YouTube, I have known Original Al for years. I would consider her an associate, because for a long time she stopped doing content. But many of you here know Negs. He's banned now on YouTube of Negative Nation. But in his chat, I met Original Al, and I also met Karina Kaboom. And at the time, Amberlynn Reed was in her heyday, And I was the specialty because I could get all of the inside information on Amberlyn Reed. So, that is how I met Al, and she was just basically viewing YouTube because she was already a 10,000 subscriber creator, but at that time she had stopped doing content and was just being a viewer. And Leticia basically brought her out of retirement, her and Shani. And many of you know Karina Kaboom, so I am a loose associate with her, and I can make jokes with Karina Kaboom that other people couldn't get away with or might get banned for doing. Though, once again, because like Miss Flatline, we're well, actually, we're nowhere as friendly as Miss Flatline and myself, but I do keep it as a professional association with Miss Kaboom, although I do make fun jokes at her expense sometimes. We're taking care of business. My last vacation was to Philadelphia, where unlike James Clark, I scored. And I did say that, now, if anyone here wants me to talk about my ex-girlfriend, Philadelphia, in the James Clark video that I put out, please press 1 in chat. I'm taking a poll right now, because this is a point of digression. Someone asked me, where did I go on vacation? And once again, there are stories that I did promise I would tell in that video. And if chat wishes to hear it, type a 1. And if I get enough chats out of 64, I'll talk about it. Now, while they're chatting, I'm going to Leticia digress. Now, earlier in this live, you heard me talk about I've got to be reevaluated. And I'm stopping smoking pot. Now, my condition is probably going to degenerate, and I'm going to go back to having seizures every day. That's the worst case scenario. So, as my friends, I want to prepare you for that. Because I'm about to, in the next few weeks, stop. I've cut myself down severely. Now, these 2 containers, Leticia would definitely, what would you do for a Klondike bar? Because both of them have almost an ounce stuffed in each of them. As much as I could. And if I go back to having seizures every day, this is what's going to bring me out of it. And I have, once again, 2 ounces here in the containers. Well, almost 2 ounces. It's probably a quarter less than, probably 3/4 in each one. So, I probably actually got an ounce and a half between the both of them. But, where Leticia's crying right now, this is called Mento breath. Because it takes your breath away. And this one is Orange 34. And as you see, I put it in an orange container so I can keep the 2 tracked. Because, Mento breath in here and Orange 34 in here. And these 2 they just sit on a shelf. And in another bag over here, I have a ration of weed to last me, once again, don't show it on YouTube, but what my hand is covering right here is my ration for the rest of the month. And those 2 are if I start having seizures again, when I stop, that's to get me to stop having seizures. And those are going to sit in a shelf. Well, actually, when I'm done with this, I'm not going to put them in a shelf. I'll put them in the freezer, to keep the freshness. And they will sit there until I need them. Now, once again, I do think there's enough, because I know there's so many lurkers, I do think there's enough ones. Now, Philadelphia was my last vacation. My ex-girlfriend's daughter was unbelievable. She would be a lolcow. I joked with my girlfriend. It's like, can I put her on YouTube? Seriously? Because over a 9-month period, she stole $22,000 from my girlfriend. Now, before you're starting to go wild about this, my girlfriend was rich. I'm not saying pretend rich. I'm not saying Shanny $700,000 and we call it rich. My ex-girlfriend was a millionaire's rich. And I didn't, she bought me some clothes, paid for me a couple tickets here and there, and she paid my electric bill once when COVID was over. But, that's, quote, all the, quote, money she ever gave me. But she was rich. So, $22,000 to her was chump change. But yes, the little 22-year-old nursing student living high on the hog stole $22,000 out of her accounts. Now, when I went to Philadelphia, my girlfriend didn't tell her I was coming. Bad move. Roger spent a month and a half trying to get Dominatrix's girlfriend to tell Dominatrix's daughter that I am coming. And she kept putting it off. Big mommy Dominatrix, didn't want to face baby Satan. So she kept putting it off. And at the time that I'm getting on the bus to go there, I'm like, don't you think you ought to be telling her? I'll tell her. I'm hours away and, I'm in text range and have you told her? No, I've not told her. Me doing this. And then when I get there, she can't come and get me. Why can't she come and get me, you say? I mean, it's just driving to the Philadelphia bus station. I mean, you think that would be pretty simple. Not when baby Satan's involved. Yes, mother tried to leave the house. And when she got wind of what actually was happening, she threatened to Leticia herself. Yes, she did. She stole my girlfriend's keys. My girlfriend got the keys back. She blocked the girlfriend from getting into the vehicle. And of course, I'm sitting for, over hours waiting for her to pick me up at the bus station. She does the dive on top of the hood thing when the girlfriend turns the car on. And this is my last vacation, my first vacation experience going to see my girlfriend. Yes, baby Satan steals her, and then after, she finally escapes baby Satan and meets me because I can't get into the hotel room because they need her. She had to get me an Uber to take me to the hotel. And then I can't get into the hotel room without her. And then I finally had to that is as mean as I got with her. I'm like, you have no choice. I can never get into this room without you. I have been on a 23-hour bus trip. I am about to have a freaking seizure. Get your ass here. And that was the most forward I ever was with her. So finally she disengaged from baby Satan, with her on the hood of the car. And I'm like, why didn't you just drive with her on the hood of the car here? I'm like, she wanted to be the drama queen. You should have just drove there because in reality, the hotel was like 10 minutes from her house in the city. So in reality, it was only about 4 miles. So that's why I'm like, why didn't you just drive with her on the hood? Because at that point, I was sick of the bullshit. So, that was Roger's solution. So, that was my first experience. And then when we get there, or when finally you think everything's settled, we go to the store. Her bank card doesn't work because her daughter called the bank pretending to be her and had her card shut off. That's what baby Satan did next. And then baby Satan started spam calling my girlfriend's phone. Then my girlfriend's sister, who's also a nutburger, then started spam calling her phone. And her telling them, leave me alone. And that was my first day of my first vacation to Philadelphia to see my girlfriend. You know, we got food, and oh man, and like I said, she ended up having one card that baby Satan didn't know about, because baby Satan shut off all of her other cards. But because of that's the kind of thing her family does, she had one card that made with several thousand in it that baby Satan didn't know about. And I want James Robert Clark to run into baby Satan badly. She's 24 now and a nurse. And she could be your nurse. And mommy takes care of her unbelievably. And they fight constantly. We had to text because we couldn't talk on the phone if she was there. Because she would just throw fits. Seriously. If she was home, my girlfriend and I could only text because she would start screaming at my girlfriend. She used to hit my girlfriend. And I actually have the bruised pictures of my girlfriend that my girlfriend sent me on this iPhone. So, hello, Astrid. So that, while I was playing YouTube, that was the shit show that I was going on with behind the scenes and keeping it all together and not telling you. See where I was joking with my girlfriend? It's like, can I just make her a YouTube subject? Hello, Pink. But that's what I was dealing with. And that pretty blonde girl in that video is baby Satan. And mommy and her don't date over much, and she can't keep a boyfriend. And when she gets one, mother destroys him. No kidding. Oh, I forgot on baby Satan's greatest hits. Well, as I showed before, they use money against each other. Baby Satan secretly filmed my girlfriend naked videos and sold them on FetLife to her submissives. Mommy was not happy about that. But yes, when mommy cut her off one time, she secretly started filming mommy naked and selling it on the internet. I can't make this shit up. What you're seeing now is me with shame that I put up with it. And you know what's the worst part? I still love mommy to no end. But she's as delusional as Leticia. No shit. It does suck. That's one reason why I could never be in a relationship right now, is because I'm not over loving the crazy one. Now, after her threats and what she did, I won't have any contact with her. No, there won't ever be any contact on my side with her. But I do love her. And you know what? That sucks. that sucks out ass. You know, where I say nothing on YouTube hurts me, that hurts me. That I love her, but she's too crazy enough to have a stable relationship. She wants to make up her reality as it goes along and have her drama. And with my complex PTSD, I can't do drama for drama's sake. Because I realized after we broke up, she's not broke up. That was like 2 weeks after we broke up. I realized this chick is not broke up. This is just her cycle. Because the mother of my child was like that. And that's when I told her, I never want to speak to you again. And then she had the utter meltdown. And that confirmed to me that the entire 2 weeks of every horrible thing she could do to me was her love language. And I couldn't have that. So, that's kind of the Rogers secret behind the scenes shit. An example of what was going on. It's not all of it, but, that's kind of the highlight reel. We were sitting and drinking and bullshitting about relationships. That would be my, you can't believe this shit. And once again, I put up with it too much. I became the enabler. And at the moment that I realized that she's never meeting me halfway, and I'm always going my halfway, and that now at this point, after about a year, I'm nothing more than the enabler, I can't have that. And then when I tried to have the serious talk, she started bullshit. Once again, trying to passively aggressively manipulate me, where she can keep getting all the love, and I'm supporting her, emotionally, but that doesn't come back around the other way. I'm getting treated like crap. But, that was, my relationship, and I dealt with extra crazy in it, and delusions. And, like I say, I kind of went long, everyone. Now, I'm going to go out of here, because I promised to let you guys be able to get a snack before people get their 8 o'clock lives on. But, we've basically recapped. Leticia's theater, she really does believe that Jason Wallace is watching all of this and can stop it. What we saw was her play, her Macbeth, her Shakespeare. And that's all we're going to see for some time until they take the baby. McLetitty. Now, I might, once again, you know what? I thought about passing that bit to Adonis, but I think I'll use that myself. Because you see, on the Grimgoth Dark Elf channel, I'm about to start doing content heavily again, with yet another character you have not seen. And I will do the Macbeth Letitty bit with that character on that channel. So, hello, Philip. Now, subscribe to Grimgoth the Dark Elf if you want to see me doing off-the-wall comedy. Now, everyone, I'm going to get out of here, and I'll see you in other people's chats. And go get a snack before everyone comes on at prime time. And I'm going to sit here with my ice-cold spring water. And that's it, because, just between us, I don't have any food. Because I only get my disability and the prices. I have to forage for nuts and berries for a week. And that's all I've had today. And that's all I'm having until the 1st. So now, everyone, I'll talk to you later, and we might do a vlog on me. Now, have a good night.